Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team's currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2 CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. Here's what our diggers have for week 140. For more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. Now without further ado, let's get started. First up, Anthony has dug up WINGAMES /strategy/miser. Not quite sure what to expect with this one. Where is it? Miser. We got a doc file and an exe. Well, let's see what's in here. MasterMind. This is a cute little takeoff on Pressman's MasterMind game. Okay, so we got a MasterMind clone here. We've seen a few of those by now. I've attempted to simulate playing the board game as much as is reasonable while keeping the game easy to play. Along those lines, I've allowed you to work with color pegs on the whole board, not just in the working row. That sounds like a good idea on paper, but that might end up being confusing for the player. Although I guess in some ways it means you can, like, change your... Well, no, how would you correct a mistake if you've already got an answer to something? I don't know, that just seems like a weird way of doing it. But in any case, he wanted... Enjoy playing, like to see further work done. Please send a small donation, $5 or whatever you think it's worth, to M&M Productions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a candy company that doesn't have any issues with that name whatsoever. Nope, no siree. And apparently this isn't the, Oh, changes from version 0.7b. Okay, so it is the proper version. Okay, let's play it. Well, I do like that it's actually seems to have maximized properly. Or has it? Very interesting. So, the game sort of maximizes properly? Sort of. It seems to have issues with changing the window size to be too small horizontally, but it adjusts it fine vertically. It's still better than what some games do. So let's see here. I'm going to move it to the middle of the screen. That's close enough. Okay, so you set a number of colors, 6 colors, 8 colors, all the way up to 12. That would be, that would be insane. Blanks okay, duplicates okay. Blanks, really? Yeah, I don't think I'm okay with blanks. Let's not have blanks. I'll do 8 colors, oh geez. If you wanted to get really insane. Okay, so we actually do have a name here, a Mark Lafoon. Okay, new game. So now I'm wondering, okay, it's click and drag. Although that's kind of weird. It doesn't actually show the actual color peg on the cursor, it just shows like a black dragging cursor. So I'm guessing I drag them... Okay, you drag them over there. But it says you can put them anywhere on the board? I don't know, that just seems weird. And then do I click here? Okay, and that advances it. I know, you can't alter it once it's moved up the board. Okay. But you can drag it again from where it's already been set. So that's definitely helpful. Which color is which for the side there? Black peg for every color, and you have it in the correct position. Ooh. So with this combination here, we already got 2 of them? Nice. So let's see if we can figure out which 2. Okay, so I think the cyan is correct. So let's try canceling those out. We'll put a green one here. Only the cyan was correct. Well, at least I'm assuming that it was the cyan that was correct before. Okay, so I think the red and the cyan might have been right. And then also it seems like the yellow might also be on here somewhere. I just didn't have the position right. Oh no, it's not going to be white. I think we got some repeats. I'm going to try red, cyan, move the yellow there. And then 2 more reds. Wow. Okay. I just guessed the combination. That was pure chance right there. So yeah, that was MasterMind. This is actually a pretty decent MasterMind clone. I like the fact that the board size will customize properly, and that you can actually have like multiple different peg colors, multiple different board sizes. And the guy was only asking $5 and wasn't even requiring it. He was just saying be nice if you sent it in. So yeah, this is definitely perfectly fine software here. Next up, James Dunn has dug up DOSGAMES /board /Aquaman. So how much does everyone want to bet that this has absolutely nothing to do with the Aquaman character? Like the actual comic character, I mean. But well, we're going to find out. So right off the bat, the fact that there's a aqua_reg.doc kind of makes me convinced that this isn't going to be based on the actual Aquaman character, just because this is clearly going to be shareware. And I can't imagine any kind of superhero being put towards a shareware project as opposed to a commercial project. But let's see what we got here. Type file ID dot diz. Aquaman 1.0. Aquaman is a mind-bending game of logic, planning, and problem-solving. Objective is to push and position pipe links so that they connect to storage pumps on the game board. Kinda sounds like Pipe Dream, but maybe not. Use rocks and whirlpools to help you solve each of the 20 different puzzles. Pure animated strategy game that is a must for all puzzle lovers. Okay. Well, for the moment, let's go check out those other files. We got the reg doc. Oh, this is actually a slow software game. I totally forgot that they made an Aquaman game. Or a game called Aquaman. So apparently they were charging $12 for the registered version of Aquaman, $18 for 2 of them, and then $24 for 1, 2, and 2. I'm going to guess that's a typo and they mean 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so most slow software type stuff is actually pretty easy to figure out, so let's just go into it. Slow Software presents Aquaman. Programmed by William Slow, version 1.0. You got a guy swimming through the water. Since there's no source scores recorded, need to create a special file for your personal scorecard. Input your initials. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen a slow game that actually tracks different players. Huh. We can't do the options or choose puzzle yet, so let's just go into our player here. And nothing's happening, so I'm guessing here we can now go into options. Okay, so you control Aquaman by using the arrow keys. You can push a link in any direction as long as it's not obstructed by another object. The link will slide in the direction that is pushed until it either hits another object or decided a game board. Okay, ice physics. On many levels there are brown rocks which cannot be pushed. And also 2 whirlpools located on some of the puzzles. The link is pushed into a whirlpool, it'll vanish and appear at the other whirlpool. Okay. And then we're basically trying to connect the 2 storage pumps. Okay, so let's see here. Choose puzzle 1. Okay, so the goal is to connect the 2 storage pumps together by pushing things around here. Now you can kind of deduce just by looking at it, there's only one horizontal piece. So at some point or another, some of the connection is going to have to be made by using the corner pieces. I can already hazard a few guesses as to how this might work. So if I push that one up like that, push that one over, and push that up. Now, the only thing I have to be careful about is that if I create like a corner, then it's going to be permanently stuck. Okay, so I push that up like that. Push this over, and up. Whoops. I did not mean to do that. I meant to push it there. Although, quite frankly, I don't think I would have been able to do what I intended to do anyway, just because this one was in the way. So let's actually try that over again. Okay, something I can do instead is push this one like this, and then up and over, and that puts that into position already. And then I can immediately just push this one all the way across. And then I think what I have to do last here is push this one up, then push this one up, then push this one over, and then we go like that, like that. I think I got this. Oh yeah. Yay! Score recorded, press any key. Okay. So, yep, and it stars it because we completed it. Puzzle 2 looks like it would drive me insane, so I think I'm going to stop here. So yeah, that was Aquaman by Slow Software. As expected, it has nothing to do with a superhero, but it's a perfectly fine game. So I imagine they probably have there's probably a shareware version of this floating around out there somewhere still. Last I checked, Slow Software still sells all of their old games, but given the fact that the registered versions of these games didn't really have much different from the shareware versions, like, I mean, it's definitely worth trying out the shareware version, and if you want to pay money for it, well, there you go. The registered versions usually just had like extra features over the shareware versions, but are otherwise still the complete game. So if this appeals to you, then yeah, check it out. And our last dig for today comes from Felicia Gladson, WINGAMES /puzzle2/Parsec. Well, this is in the Puzzle 2 folder, but it's also named Parsec. It almost seems like it'd be some kind of space game or something. Well, we already know it's written in Visual Basic because we got a whole bunch of VBX files, including 3D, so it's going to have that extra 3D effect to it. All of the help is done as bitmaps? Interesting. Very small file sizes. README. This is the README file for Parsec version 1.0, released as guilt-free shareware. Okay, on April 11th, 1993 by Brad Rucker. This Parsec zip file installing, you must have Windows 3.1. So there are literally no instructions in this README file. This is all about installation, so hopefully there's some instructions in the game. Well, okay, we've got the help bitmap, so there's gotta be. Okay, so we got an options screen. Doesn't maximize. Game type, small, large, object options, 1 or 2 players, help. Well, that's interesting. The help actually takes up the whole screen. Why did you need to use bitmaps to display this? That's weird. Okay, so Parsec is a game of deductive reasoning. Players try to discover the positions of objects placed on a grid by shooting rays into the grid and watching the results. Okay. Objective of Parsec is to discover the proper location of the objects, either planets or stars, in the grid while using the least amount of clock time and the fewest rays possible. Parsec has 2 different grid sizes, 4x4 and 8x8. I bet you already figured out that this one's called the large game, eh? Oh boy. Yeah, this has me slightly confused, because if this is a grid, like, it's saying that planets or stars could absorb the rays that are fired onto the grid, but that it can also reflect them? I guess it'll probably make more sense when we actually look at it. Or okay, here we go. Now having them as bitmaps kind of makes sense, sort of. But you have to understand that bitmap files are not typically compressed. So that means all of this white space has to be stored as individual pixels. Now, you know what? The exit help button going down to there, it probably doesn't span all of this. Yeah, I think it bottoms out around here, so it's 640 by 480. Okay, so it's saying rays are bent by traveling in a row or column next to a star or planet. Rays always bend away from the object that bent them. That kind of doesn't make sense. Hey, think about this for a second. If something gets close to the gravitational pull of the planet, it's either going to be sucked into the planet, or will loop around it, will orbit around it. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so the color changing from what I'm reading here, basically your rays start as gray, and will turn purple, then red, then go back to gray each time it's reflected off of a star. This seems like it might be a little complicated, but let's see where we end up. So, small grid with 2 planets and 0 stars. Let's play. Okay, so it doesn't maximize, still. We've got a listing of the ray color changes. We've got our grid. Okay, so let's say if I fire... Oh, it's already keeping time. So if I fire a ray here, then I basically start with a brown ray. Well, there's no stars in here, so just planets. So it started black and came all the way back here. So this is probably not going to be too tricky to figure out. That went straight through. I'm going to guess... Oops. Here and here. Did I win? I don't know if I won or not. It says puzzle size 1600 points, stars 0 points, planets 400 points, 0 mistakes, 200 minus 200 for shooting rays, minus 245 on the time. Yeah, I guess I won. Yeah. Well, let's make this a little harder. Let's go up to the large size. 3 planets, 3 stars. Okay. Now we're talking complex. So let's see here. So if we fire a ray, say here, it ended up here without a color change. So that's a pretty good indication that there's a planet there. So if I fire a ray here, that one did not come back. So I got a funny feeling there's a star here. Now what about if we fire a ray there? F? What the heck does F mean? Like there's a screen here that says that if you've made a mistake on the grid, the computer will substitute pictures on your grid buttons to show little errors, but that's the pictures, like not the letters. So I'm not sure if that's the only thing in there that makes anything like sense to like that. I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on here. What does F mean? Okay, so here we fired a ray this way and it came back up there. I think there might be a planet there and there. Maybe. Okay, I think F means that it hit a planet and O means that it hit a star. Yeah, I think there's a planet here. But I've already marked 3 planets in. Yeah, you know what? I probably have this really wrong because I just fired a ray from here and it came back. So, let's just see what happened here. Oh yeah, I screwed that up totally. Negative 270 points. Ooh, boy. Yeah, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong. I got this one right. So I didn't totally screw it up, just mostly. So yeah, that was Parsec. It's an interesting puzzle game. Very challenging. I'd say there'd probably be people who would like this. What was the cost for this, though? Because I'm pretty sure I read that this was shareware. Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a game do this before. This Judy Rucker, who is, oh wait, that's who it's dedicated to. Who wrote this again? Brad Rucker. Okay, so Brad Rucker wrote this game and referred to it as guilt-free shareware. And his reasoning for this is that instead of giving the money to him, he's saying that if you enjoy the game, you should donate $10 to the Church of Christ in Allen, Texas. I don't think I've ever seen a game with a suggestion like that before. So that means the game is technically freeware? Because how are you going to monitor something like that? Well, in any case, it's not a bad game. It's just very challenging. So if you like challenging puzzles that take place on a grid, this will be right up your alley.